because if they stim, they will actually lose a lot of health and be easily picked off by this huge flock of Mutalisks. There are now 12 Mutalisks on the field, still more to come. You can actually see Flyer Attack level 1 is almost done, as well as that expansion, and as soon as that expansion is done, you could actually wait to see haypro actually produce about 25 drones, send them all to that expansion, and automatically, instantly saturate that macro hatch going up for haypro, so he doesn't think that he can actually consume all his resources, especially once that third base is up and running. Now it is finally done. 3 drones in production, as well as melee attack level 1 and carapace level 1, as well as flyer attack level 2, so he's really going to commit on these Mutalisks. They will be doing a lot of damage, but surprisingly not making any more mutas, not for now at least. You can actually see no mutas at that rally point. These mutas haven't done much besides map control at this point, and huge push coming out from Tarson. I do think that LiquidHaypro might be able to clean this up with perfect Baneling mines, but remember, he just produced about 15 drones, so he has not been producing units for the last minute or 2-3 minutes. He does see this push coming, so he will be able to prepare now, just producing 13 Banelings. I don't know if Baneling speed is actually done at this point. Where is the Baneling nest? Here it is, and yes, it is done, so they will be able to actually chase away these Marines. Only 2 medevacs to heal this whole clump of Marines. These mutas are doing a great job of actually keeping Tarson in his base. He's not able to push. These tanks are actually very vulnerable here. He will get one before... Actually, these tanks stuttering a bit, losing a second tank. That is great by haypro. That is really what you need to do to really keep those tank numbers down, because if these tanks actually siege up, there is no way that the Banelings will reach the tanks or the Marines. One drop gonna be coming up from Tarson into the third base. It is not yet spotted by haypro, but these overlords will be able to spot it in time, and I don't think that this will do any kind of damage, especially with these mutas. There are now 15 mutas on the field, and he does see this drop, so look for these mutas to actually intercept it. He's not paying attention though, and now he's just stuttering, and he's really indecisive, not paying attention to his minimap. These Lings are actually going to engage the Marine, not a good engagement. You should send the Banelings. The tank's not sieged up though, will take huge damage. These Banelings should really chase away the Marines, and haypro does clean this up. Meanwhile, that drop at the third base actually decided to drop on the low ground, not doing any damage, so haypro really looking in a commanding position at this point. He did not lose a single muta. He has map control. He has a third base, while Tarson just now has his third base. 71 drones, getting a fourth base up and running. These Marines will run back home. They will get intercepted by the mutas, who were just here a second ago. There they are. And losing one muta, he might lose 2, so not the best control by haypro, just A-moving here. Lost 2 Marines, 2 mutas to all those Marines. Not the best trade, but still good to clean up that drop. A lot more mutas actually on the field right now. If you look at the counting station, you see 16 mutas on the field. Not as much as you would expect, but he held those attacks perfectly with the Banelings and the Lings, and that is why the muta count isn't higher at this point. But these mutas are so dangerous on the field. They can do so much damage if they actually just walk into the main base. The Marines are so far off, they will have to just run back to the main base if these mutas actually decide to engage there. There are only 2, 3, 4 turrets these mutas could actually pick them off. Unfortunately, he doesn't have the muta count he would like to. These Lings engaging the Marines here, not the best choice, because a lot of them get picked off. But Lings are so cheap that you can actually afford to do some trades like that. And I actually have to catch my breath here. And now this fourth base is saturated by haypro, and this is actually... Tarson did fortify this third base with a lot of tanks here. These mutas should really poke around and try to do the damage that they can. Some tanks are vulnerable here. Unfortunately for Tarson, some Marines are very close to actually guard them. But look for, actually haypro is now teching to hive. Some broodlords would be very good at this point, because he really can't engage this army straight up. As long as Tarson is sieged up in front of his third base, there is no way that haypro can engage here. Some broodlords would force the tanks actually in siege because of the massive amount of broodlings that come out of them. And now these destructible rocks will go down, just opening up another attack path, but this third base is really, really well fortified. There is no way that haypro can actually bust through this, and we'll just have to watch to see Flyer Carapace level 1 actually going up for haypro. He has 2-0 on those mutas, investing even more in those flyers. Now just starting a melee attack level 2 as well as ground carapace level 3, and unfortunately those tanks, as soon as they get one upgrade, they actually one-shot lings no matter their upgrades. But luckily for haypro, those tanks don't even have a single upgrade. These lings getting caught off guard by the Marines. Nice sandwich here by haypro. If he actually manages to get it, he will be able to clean this up. More Marines are reinforcing here, will be able to chase off haypro. And again, just fortifying this position. You can see crack coming up for the lings. I actually heard that Blizzard did not like people saying that it is crack for lings. So we will call them adrenal glands, so that we do not get yelled at by Blizzard. But it is so fun to have cracklings everywhere. Now, Tarson is actually going to move forward here. He should siege up, because as soon as he passes those shrubs, he'll find a nice surprise. He does see a whole pack of Marines and sieges up, so nice little scan here, actually spawning forward in front of the shrubs, making sure that there are no nasty surprises there. And haypro is going to engage here. Nice fungal growth, picking off a lot of Marines in front here. These tanks were vulnerable for just a second behind, but the Marines walked back to them. And haypro, will he engage here? He will engage. These tanks are not sieged up. Nice, huge fungal growth actually going down for haypro. He will be able to clean this up. And look for the GG, because this is just horrible for Tarson. He is going to lose all his Marines, all the tanks, his entire army. There are no reinforcements coming. So it might not be GG right now, but I mean, haypro just took a commanding lead in this game, and that is just amazing. Only a handful of Marines left from Tarson, 174 to 135 supply, and as soon as those broodlords are out, he will be able to win this game hands down. The Greater Spire just now finished. You can actually see he has enough for about 5 broodlords. There they are, the 5 broodlords supporting, 2 corruptors supporting this, and no Vikings on the field except for this initial Viking who has not moved for about 10 minutes, so he is taking a break from this war. Now, many bases up for haypro. 5 broodlords on the way. A ton of lings. Actually, a 6th broodlord on the way. 82 lings, 8 mutas, 3 infestors. That is not an army you want to deal with as Terran. Terran only has siege tanks and a handful of Marines, and these Marines won't even be able to get in range of the broodlords because of the sheer numbers of broodlings. With about 6 broodlords, the broodlings actually get a perfect surround on the Marines and prevent them from actually moving forward, so that is going to be huge at this point. haypro will start attacking soon. These broodlords are actually crucial right now. 7 broodlords on the field. Still 3 Vikings at this point, so look for those Vikings to actually do a lot of damage. These mutas have to stay close to the broodlords to take care of the Vikings. I'm surprised that haypro didn't actually keep a few corruptors to protect his broodlords, because corruptors are fairly good against Vikings. And the Vikings actually have to kite the broodlords, which isn't always obvious, especially with this massive ling army following the broodlords and these infestors. So this is going to be it. One huge push for haypro. He is maxed. Tarson is almost maxed at this point. He does have quite a few ghosts on the field. So these broodlords will start engaging here, throwing down the broodlings. A nice attack here by Tarson. Surprisingly, by Haypro, sorry. Surprisingly, Tarson did not unsiege his tanks, so these tanks doing huge splash damage to his own units. The Ghost is sniping away at the Broodlords, but this is just way too many units. It is gonna clean up once again.